Andrea and I, we with our experience in working with resumes, cover letters, helping people nail their job interviews and really just getting ahead in their careers, what we've been noticing is just the power and the difference that this tool is making. So that's really what prompted us to want to have this webinar so that we can share some of these strategies with you.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrea. I've got a master's in education with 30 years of experience in that industry, quite a long time. First as a teacher, then as a quality teacher of learning. I've also run some seminars and tutorials for the Australian independent schools and written some programs and units for the Department of Education, as well as a book for them. But more recently, I've been involved in something far more exciting. I've been working with Trinity, so it's been lovely over the last few years.
Yeah, making that transition into coaching and sharing some of that experience.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love sharing about Andrea is that book that she just mentioned that she wrote, that was actually a dictionary. So I love saying that, oh, well, Andrea wrote the dictionary on that one because she actually did.
Thank you.
So today, our webinar, we're going to be running it a little bit differently to usual because we are sharing with you those tech strategies. We wanted to be able to show you how it works in real time. So I am going to be screen sharing with my laptop. It might be a little bit clunky in places, just trying to get it all to work together. So please bear with me if we drop the line at any point there. But we thought that it would be best to show you live and give you a bit of an example of how it's going to look.
That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
So we've set this up so it will give you the most advantage. So this is a way that we thought it would work best for you and for you to gain the knowledge of how to actually implement it yourself.
Fantastic. Thanks, Andrea. So if you haven't already downloaded the webinar booklet, I recommend that you grab a copy of that. I'll send one around after this anyway, but that really does contain a lot of the word-for-word prompts that we're going to be using today, so you can copy and paste them when you need to. But let's just dive in. So I will start by sharing my screen here, give you a bit of an introduction to start. Let me see. There we go. Works beautifully. All right. So Andrea and I, we mentioned we're from Views Professional Development. We're career coaches and training specialists. How we help people with their resumes and cover letters, with their job interview preparation. And we also have a fantastic career coaching program where we help you to create a career that flexes with your life, not against it. We're all about breaking out of that corporate career ladder so that you can achieve things that are meaningful to you and that is flexible with your life.
Yep, that's right.
So that's a little bit about us. Here's us in action, running some one-on-one sessions, some group sessions, and we also do events. We've been featured in various publications, including Thrive Global. We've got that one there. And these are some of the people that we have partnered with and delivered training for in their businesses in the last little while. This is Olivia, one of our most recent clients, just sharing a little bit about how we helped her. So we were just helping her refine her goals and identify areas to focus on so that she could get where she wanted to in her career. So today, the AI advantage, ChatGPT.
Very exciting. Some people might be a little bit afraid. So this is a way to educate yourself so you're not afraid by ChatGPT. Once you've got these rules, once you've got this knowledge, you'll be able to confidently have a look at how to use it to your advantage.
Well, that's it exactly, and that's our aim here today. So a little bit of the agenda of what we're going to be going through. We're going to speak about the relevance of AI in today's job market specifically, and the 80-20 rule of how to actually use tools like AI and ChatGPT in your job search.
So that's exciting.
Yeah, we'll speak specifically about applying it to your resume and cover letter. Andrea has very generously opted in to be our guinea pig for today.
I have indeed. So I'm going to be applying for a job. Don't tell Trinity. It's just a mock.
So that'll be a bit of fun. We'll work on updating a LinkedIn profile and how to use AI to actually improve your job search strategies as well. Okay, so getting the most from today, look, maximum value will get you maximum, the full participation is how you get that max value, sorry. So it's the same as anything. If you have any questions, feel free to dive in, be fully present, and let's make sure that we give the best experience for you that we can today.
That's very exciting.
So if you have any questions, just raise your hand, or I'll type it in the chat box there. I wanted to kick this off just with a quick little insight as well. Look, I know Andrea touched on this. People are so concerned about ChatGPT coming in and stealing their jobs. I don't know if you've seen this cereal company, Surreal, but they are hilarious with their advertising, and I really enjoy them. If you don't follow them on LinkedIn, I would, just to get a laugh. Look, they've shared that they've seen a lot of companies using AI to write their adverts, so they figured that they'd give it a try. Their copywriter is now sitting and crying in a corner. And you can see there they've typed in, write a headline that tells people to buy our cereal. Buy our cereal. Let's come back with. Another one here, write a headline about how our cereal is high protein. Some cereals say Cheerio, our cereal says high protein. So look, I just wanted to bring in with that because I think it's a really good way to demonstrate that 80-20 rule of AI. It is not a copy and paste tool. It's something that we really do need to work with so that we make sure that we get a good and holistic result from the information that we're pulling out of it.
Absolutely. But we've got some statistics here. Trinity, do you want to talk about the first one, and then we'll... Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. I'm just juggling a few screens here. Let me remember what my first statistic was. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So when we are circling back to talk about LinkedIn, look, 76% of recruiters believe that AI's impact on recruiting is going to be significant. So it is something that has changed the game.
Yep. And also 33% of HR teams are using some of AI technology to deliver improved.
Very nice.
So that's really, really important. Now, it's important for me when I reflect back on my career in education, when we were writing our job applications of what we wanted to put in, we spent a lot of time writing down the key skills that we wanted, and that took a lot. But then what would happen is we would get a flood of resumes that didn't even address the key skills that we'd put all our energy into. The thing back then also was that I can remember one year I got 153 resumes just for a teaching job.
It's incredible.
I know, and I had to go through them all. Whereas with AI, you can actually limit those. You can tell it what it's looking for. And instead of doing 153, you can think about the 80-20 rule and even apply it here. It just knocks things down so that they have actually addressed the key skills that you've put all the energy into putting together. So it really is something that's changing all areas of our lives, all industries.
That's it. And I think that potentially one of the biggest leg ups that it gives us is that we no longer have to start from a blank page. So with the example that we're going to be sharing with you today about Andrea's resume, when she's jumped in to have a look at where she wants to go, she's realized, oh my goodness, haven't updated my resume in a few years, got so much writing to do.
That's exactly right. I just looked at it and I looked at the job and I thought, oh my goodness, I'm not even that person anymore. I've totally changed. Only 5 years, but my goodness. Actually, I think it's only 4. Doesn't matter. I just didn't, if I read it, it would not be a picture of who I am now. So it really is an enormous thing when you look at your resume and think, how am I going to update this? However, we've got some things to help with that now.
Well, that's it. So 80% of that legwork can be done, and then the 20% is you refining it. So if we I'm going to share my screen again so we can jump in and have a look at this in real time as we work through. So just bear with me for one moment. All right, let's take a look at ChatGPT. So once you sign up for ChatGPT, if you haven't already, you will, on the free plan, get access to this one here, the 3.5 model, which is very good and very quick. Today, we're going to be using the number 4 model just because it is a lot more advanced in its creative output, and it gives a much better quality result. So it's just the database that it's using is much larger. That's the one that you get access to if you pay. It's only a small monthly fee. I do recommend making that upgrade because I find the difference between the two is quite incredible. Even if you only upgrade for a month while you're using it heavily and then downgrade again, I really do find that the quality of the output from GPT-4 is really worth that investment.
I agree. wholeheartedly, especially when you're trying to be noticed. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
And it's saving a lot of time by doing it properly the first time. So anyway, Andrea has come and she's having a look at her resume and realized that she hasn't updated it. So she's done a little brain dump, and I'm just going to copy and paste and bring this across of all the things that she wants to update in her resume, all the things that she wants to include.
Yep. So I decided that I was going to go for a deputy principal job at a K-6 school. So I looked back at all of my educational background and I added these things to it that I've done since I wrote the resume. And Trinity's going to do something really quite magical here.
So we're not going to start from a blank page. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a prompt into ChatGPT saying, please format this additional experience for my for inclusion in my resume. And then we just hit paste on, your brain dump of information, and we hit enter. And what we can see here is that it actually lays it out quite nicely for you. So all that legwork of just trying to put it in a little bit more of a logical order, separating out the skills that you used into quantifiable achievements, a lot of that actually gets done very quickly for you from that mess of an initial brain dump that you can put into the prompt.
Yep, that's exactly what it was, a complete brain dump. I just was having a cup of coffee and I just quickly scribbled down the things that had happened. So that's really incredible the way that it's done that.
That's it. So it just gives us a really good leg up. Now, from here, like we said, it's not a copy and paste. So what Andrea would do is go through each of these points and add what her unique impact would have been in that situation. So, for example, here, Andrea, in this experience where you were acting deputy, the first bullet point that it has put together for us is that you led primary and infants assemblies, effectively engaging with a diverse student population.
Yeah.
How would you personalise or make that more applicable?
Well, one of the things was in the job description, they wanted to communicate not only with the students, but also with the parents and also the Aboriginal parents. So I'd be connecting not only to engaging with the diverse student population.
You would mention specifically
talking like not only the student population, but with the wider community, the parents, the guardians. I'll just probably say community there, the wider community, including Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders.
So there you go. You can see that's a great example there of how 80% of the work done by ChatGPT, but then that last 20% where in your head, Andrea, is going to make the complete difference on how impactful that bullet point is going to be to the hiring manager, specifically to that role.
That's exactly right.
So that's how the two kind of play together quite nicely. So that's rewriting your most recent experience. The next thing that we need to look at is what Andrea was leading into, is about identifying the keywords in the actual job description, because we need now to make sure that Andrea's resume is tailored specifically for that.
That's exactly right, because that's what they're going to be looking for, those keywords, the things that they've spent a lot of time working out. So we need to make sure that it's not just a whole lot of great things that I've done.
That's it.
It lines up with what they're actually wanting.
That's it. And in the past, look, what you would have done is you would have spent a lot of time. So this is the example job that we're going to be using today. We can read through this and we can, look for those repeating keywords. And of course, still read the job description. But what we can actually use ChatGPT for is to help us pull out those top 5 keywords very quickly. So I'm just going to paste one of the prompts that we've got in your workbook there. Identify the top 5 keywords in the following job description. And then I'm going to take the job description here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste that information into ChatGPT. I will go to here. Hit enter, and it's going to help us identify what these keywords are that are, one, going to jump out to the hiring manager because they have been so careful in writing the job description, but two, make sure that you pass any automated screening processes.
That's exactly right.
That's it, because those ATS systems can knock you out if you're not including words that are aligned.
Absolutely. And HR departments, every department's going to be using that now. because it's something that cuts down their work. Look, when I was looking at it, like I had to be doing these sort of things in my own time, trying to sift through this 153 applications. Whereas if I could have targeted the 5 skills straight away that we're really after, that would have made my life a lot easier. And if you're a HR manager, that's exactly what you're going to be doing. You're going to be looking for a program that does that for you.
You're exactly right. So what it's done is it's broken this down. So the 5 keywords: deputy principal, obviously the job title and core role. We're going to make sure that we include those exact words on all of our job application documents. But then also educational leadership, instructional coaching, professional learning, community, and continuous improvement and professional growth.
That's exactly right. And I'll be using examples for each of those.
Well, that's it. So now we've got that fantastic guiding light on. We know for sure these are the ones that are most prominently mentioned throughout that entire document.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if I've done something extra. That might be something that I might talk about in the interview. But to get to the interview, I need to address each one of these things very, very carefully and professionally.
Well, that's it. So now we can have a look at analysing the job for ATS compliance as well. So what we can now do, the next prompt that we're going to have a look at is I'll just pop in, please analyse my updated resume for ATS compliance and alignment to my desired role and provide suggestions for improvement. So I'll just copy and paste Andrea's resume. I'll just bring that across. So this is your current one here. And we'll just paste that in and we'll get some recommendations for how we can make sure that it's going to be aligning to that role. So the prompt that we put in there is asking specifically to make sure it's going to pass ATS, but then it's also going to appeal to human eyeballs through that too. So the suggestions that it's providing is, hang on a second, it's just taking a moment to finish generating there. There we go. So it's provided some suggestions around the formatting and keywords. And so it's mentioned again here, we need to increase focus on terms such as educational leadership, instructional coaching, and professional learning community and continuous improvement. So we make sure that we dot those throughout. It's picked that up straight away.
Okay.
Your professional appointments and experience, we can include some clear and consistent information for each one. It's given some suggestions there. Your skills and strengths, it's also provided some suggestions there. And this is an interesting one that it picked up. It's common to note that references available upon request is often preferable to listing them on your resume, which is true, but you're going to find a lot of roles, particularly for deputy principal, where they do ask you to provide those up front as part of the application process.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's good one that you can take or leave there too. So that gives you some really good indications about where you can start making some heavier edits to your actual resume.
Absolutely. Gold.
It is good to have that guide.
Yep.
Okay, so now what we want to do is move into writing your cover letter to submit your application for the following role.
Okay.
So what we can do is Andrea does have a draft cover letter here that I'm going to copy and paste into ChatGPT. And I'm going to ask it using one of the prompts that we've provided in the webinar booklet, is we want to please update this resume to include quantifiable examples of your capabilities as applicable to that job description. So let me just go back and I'll type that in. Okay, please update my cover letter to include examples of the key skills required by the job description. Here's my draft cover letter. Funny how you forget how to spell and type as soon as you know that someone's looking.
You're doing quite well. Very well, actually.
So here we can see it's quite beautiful to watch someone else doing all this work for you, isn't it? Just your resume being rewritten by ChatGPT to include quantifiable examples using those keywords that we actually got it to identify. Now, this is powerful in that it is adding keywords throughout. Again, do not copy and paste this because the tone won't be quite human or natural, and it will miss those nuanced examples of, exactly how these keywords apply.
That's right. Right. It's almost like a generic type thing. You have to make it personalised, and you have to be very careful. Being in the industry, you know firsthand the things that are important.
Absolutely. So we'll add that in. But this gives a great example of how we can, provide examples of demonstrating those key skills directly in your cover letter, and the amount of time that you are saving by not starting from an empty page is just absolutely beautiful there.
The formatting's fantastic too. Like, you've got definitely a template to work with.
Yes.
And you don't have to worry, should I put this, should I put that? Where should this go?
That's it. Now, we've mentioned a little bit about the fact that ChatGPT doesn't have so much of a natural human tone, which is why it's so important to make sure that you're updating these rather than copying and pasting. But you can get it to update its tone to a certain point.
Okay. Let's have a look at how that works.
So if you've written this letter and you've thought, oh my goodness, I've come across as way too stuffy and professional, I would never say that. That does sound like a robot. One of the prompts that we've been using that is really interesting to add some personalization is you can ask it, please change the tone to be more casual and enthusiastic about the role, and include my love for solving puzzles. So that's some personality that we're adding in right there.
Yeah.
So let's see how it what it's going to do there, how that tone's going to look. So there you go. That introduction sentence is quite a lot more engaging, like the mention about your former boss and great friend recently had a heart-to-heart chat. Like, suddenly it's using quite different phrasing there.
It is, absolutely.
I want to see what what they're going to put about the paperwork. I don't know why I keep thinking ChatGPT is a she. Maybe it's the Siri thing.
I always think of it as a she.
Definitely a she. So here we go. Here's what she's done with the puzzle. It's a testament to my passion for embracing diversity and providing equal learning opportunities for all students. Not to mention my experience in planning exciting science and technology activities. Trust me, there's no puzzle quite like a science experiment. Well, there you go.
That's really, really, really good. And it's very engaging.
And that's quite natural as well. So if you just changed a few things around there so it sounds like you speaking, you've got that personalization already in there about something that's relevant to your background, that's been woven into relevance to that job role.
Absolutely. And the good thing about it is, if you don't like it, you can actually ask it to do it again.
Well, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Can you please rewrite that analogy? Or can you update the tone to be less humorous more humorous, or use Australian slang?
That's exactly right. So you can just keep working at it till you get it the way you want it.
Well, that's it. So that's a little bit about how you can create a tailored resume and cover letter for the role. Is there anything else you want to mention there before we move on to LinkedIn profiles?
I don't think so. I just find the whole experience really exciting, and it also, when you, I know this sounds a bit weird, when you actually get it, ChatGPT to actually do that, it's really quite incredible when you read over what you have done and you think, oh, yeah, I really have done that. That really does suit what I'm trying to say. It's really quite exciting.
Yeah, just to hear your own words repeated back to you.
In a different way.
Wow.
In a different way that you haven't actually put together.
Yeah. So it is a bit of fun to play around with.
Yeah, it is.
So let's move on to optimizing your LinkedIn profile.
Okay, let's do that.
So again, we've had a look at some statistics here that are indicative of how fast this change is happening. So JobFight have just released a study showing that 95% of recruiters are using LinkedIn to find job candidates.
That's just blows my mind away. Very few times do you find any statistic over 70, but 95% of recruiters
Well, that's it. Even if they're getting your resume from Seek or directly through their website, the first thing that they're doing is they are Googling your name, looking you up on LinkedIn. And that's why it's so important to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is a true and accurate representation of who you are professionally.
And up to date. So it's something that you need to keep visiting.
That's it.
And adding to.
So every time you're sending a cover letter or a resume or a job application in, make sure that updating your LinkedIn profile is part of that, because 95% of the time that's going to be looked at before you get that call for an interview.
Absolutely, it is. I know. I've done it.
That's it. So very important that we look at that there. So let's dive in. I'll just share my screen again and we'll see how we're going to make updating your LinkedIn profile less painful. Okay, so again, I'm going to grab one of our beautiful prompts over here. So we're going to get some suggestions for the headline of our profile. So if you just leave your profile headline standard, it's just going to default to your most recent work experience position. We always recommend updating that so that it's a better indication of your specific skill set and expertise rather than just your current job role.
That's exactly right.
So this is going to be helping us do that. So we can say, please give me 5 suggestions for my LinkedIn profile headline. As an executive assistant, I'm actually going to change that to deputy principal because that's what we're looking at today. Give me the following format: title, keywords and skills, tagline. Now, this is important for you to show up in search results as well. So this is where you can get recruiters calling you even when you haven't applied for roles, because you'll be showing up in relevant suggestions and searches that they'll be running. So we've got 5 suggestions here, Andrea. We've got deputy principal, passionate education leader, curriculum development expert, championing excellence in learning. Or we've got deputy principal, special education specialist, team leadership, paving the way for future leaders.
I think that's probably the second one that I'd go with.
Yeah, could you share a little bit about why that one's?
Well, because my background, I do have special education in my background. And also when I was at university, I did a psychology major. So that is, and also because of the diversity that we're finding in schools at the moment, especially the junior schools, that's something that's really being sought after.
Fantastic. Yeah.
So that's the one that I would use.
Okay, well, that's beautiful. That's giving you some suggestion. You can just you can go and run with that from there. The next thing that we're going to look at, we mentioned keywords and how important they are on your resume, but they are equally important, if not more important, on your LinkedIn profile, so that you are showing up in those search results and aligning with the roles that you're after. So you can use something like this: suggest keywords and improvement for my LinkedIn profile as an office manager or a deputy principal or whatever role you are going for there. And if you don't know, I will actually go in and share how we can get your resume into ChatGPT. Sorry, your LinkedIn profile into ChatGPT. So just navigate to your profile in LinkedIn, and then there's a button here to export to PDF. So under the More section, just drop that down, say Save to PDF. That's going to come out to a document where you can just select all and copy. Go back to ChatGPT. There's going to be a hell of a lot of suggestions getting my profile to align to an office manager. So let's see what it comes back with. I should have put rocket scientist or something that would be really. You are not Elon Musk.
Been really interesting. I'll try that later.
Missed opportunity.
Oh dear.
So there we go. We've got some great recommendations where we can go through, take what's relevant, build on what ideas it's giving you here, and then also leave what isn't going to be applicable for you.
Yeah, that's really exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see how just having those specific prompts will really help you be able to update your resume very quickly and easily on LinkedIn, rather than, again, looking at it thinking, oh, I haven't updated this in forever. I don't even know where to start.
That's right. Having something to start with and just adjusting is just the way to go, honestly. Having it do, as we've been saying, the 80% of the work, and then you doing the 20%, that's fantastic. It releases a lot of the stress.
Well, that's
And
it.
also it comes up with some really good ideas that
That
you haven't even
prompts
thought
you.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like your right-hand man.
That's it. All right, so that's LinkedIn. Let me just jump back into our prompts here. Now, what we want to do is extend this a little bit, is how you can actually use AI to improve your job search strategy. So I joked around a little bit then about making my profile relevant to a rocket scientist role.
Yeah.
But honestly, what we're finding is people are rejecting more and more of that rigid idea of a corporate career ladder where, you know, you pick a degree at 19, get through uni, and then you're stuck in that path for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. Things are changing. People's lives are changing and the world's changing. So it's just one part of it that needs to change as well.
Well, I think so as well, particularly, for men as well, but particularly for women, where we've got all these other hats that we need to wear at different stages of our life. Like, you know, we want to enjoy time doing work that's exciting to us and traveling. And then we want to, you know, settle down a bit and like have children. And then we want to get back into the workforce after having children. At each stage of that life, that, you know, that there's going to be big changes that we need to actually make in our role so that we've got a happier life.
Yep. There's a shift in our lives, a shift in society. Because years ago it was very different. When I was starting out, it was very rigid, but now not so. And it's very exciting to be able to shape your career, shape who you want to be, and look at different opportunities. I actually had a little look myself and thought, now what could I do with all of my things? And one of the things I could do was to coach parents with how to cope with children who are not doing what's normal in school. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I'd really enjoy building those relationships and things like that. So thinking out of the box is just great. It's really good. It gives you a great feeling inside and you don't feel locked into doing things that, you know, people might expect.
Well, that's it. And look, this is a topic obviously that Andrea and I are very passionate about. We've actually collated a little bit of a series of some incredible success stories of people who have created a non-traditional version of success and lived like really flexibly and beautiful career paths that they have been wildly successful at, but also has changed to fit into various stages of their life. So we're really excited about that little project that we've put together.
Everyone's a winner.
Well, that's it.
They win, the families win. Yep.
That's it. So keep an eye out for that. That curated little pack of stories of people who have done this is just so inspiring. And I don't think that we talk about it enough. Defining our version of success at different stages of our life and enabling ourselves to make those changes. I think it's something that we should really all be more excited about and feel
encouraging each other to feel happy about that and striving to do that.
That's it.
We don't have to just stay doing the same thing. We don't have to be in Groundhog Day.
Well, that's actually a good way to put it. Especially for those of us in accounts, I'm sure it can feel quite repetitive. So we can actually use ChatGPT to help us even in this area of our job search. Like, what is something that we could be excited to pursue at this stage in our life, but also be qualified for? So what we're going to do now, you know what? I might actually just share a couple of these facts and statistics that back up what we're saying here. So a recent Forbes study that found that 8 out of 10 employees would consider leaving their current role for a job that more closely aligns with their personal values. 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
So personal values are so important to people. And as we know, they change in different stages of our life. Our priorities change. So 8 out of 10 people really are pursuing that over their current role. And a PwC study found that 73% of employees who say they work at a purpose-driven company are engaged, compared to 23% of those who don't. So having like fulfilling work is something that is really important to us. We know that it's more than just a paycheck.
Yeah, absolutely.
So back to ChatGPT. I'm just going to grab this first prompt here. What job opportunities align with my strengths? I think I need to share my screen again. It's gone away. Hang on, bear with me. Please hold. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. So back to ChatGPT. What job opportunities align with my strengths in communication and leadership and my values of creativity and teamwork? And let's just see what it comes up with. Marketing manager. Ooh, that would be good for communication. Public relations director, product manager, human resources manager, creative director, project manager. This is quite a broad range of different roles that we could be going for here. And look at number 7, entrepreneur business owner.
Oh, that's exciting, isn't it?
It is. So if you're up for the challenge, starting your own business can allow you to utilize all of these skills. So that gives you a little bit of an initial brainstorm, but we can also get it to expand. So if becoming a business owner or an entrepreneur is something that would be of interest to you, you can say, please expand on option 7. And it can tell us a little bit more about what potential steps and actions that we can take there and how exactly this is going to align with the skills and values that we mentioned. This is just such a great brainstorming tool, help you break out of your own head, get it on paper, but also have it fed back to you in a very logical way that actually looks at the holistic options available to you.
It's amazing, isn't it? Things that you never could even think of.
So I think that that's a really good exercise just for all of us to do at the outset of any kind of job search strategy, just to have that initial brainstorm, because I know that we spend time talking to family and friends. I know that we spend time thinking about it ourselves, but to actually have a database of every job in the world lining up to the specific skills and values that you want to most pursue, like to be able to access that database of information and line up those, it's just so powerful.
Yeah, it's just gold, isn't it?
It is. It can also help us with our career path planning as well. So for example, an office manager or an executive assistant, if you do want to take that next step and become a chief of staff, I might just start with, I am an office manager currently. Please assist me in planning a career path that aligns with my goal of becoming a chief of staff. And then we can get some insights into how we can actually start stepping up and preparing ourselves to go for that promotion.
Wow, it's just so exciting, isn't it?
It is. And like how you might actually, what the typical career trajectory would look like. But we can also then look at how we can, skip steps here. So for example, if we're an office manager and we know that we need to get some project manager and operations manager experience along the way to position ourselves better for this promotion, well, how else can we do that? We don't have to work in that role, but can we volunteer to help out with a project in our local community so that we can say that we've got project management experience? Or like, what are other ways that we can get these experiences to position us for that promotion faster?
Okay, that's exciting, isn't it?
So it gives us some really good insights there that it's definitely worth playing around with if you're thinking about, taking that next step and how you can get there. You can also ask it what additional training, certifications, that kind of thing would help me progress in my desired direction. And it will access the database and come back with some suggestions so that we can think, okay, great. How can I get some PD in leadership and management? Business and strategic planning. That would be another one that would really help my case for asking for this promotion. How can I, how can I go and do that on the weekend? Or can I do an online course? Or how can I make sure that I'm displaying these skills?
Yep, they've got networking there too. You could actually implement that into the job that you're already doing. Well, maybe at lunchtime you could go and be involved in a BNI or something like that.
Well, that's it. Or join the executive assistant network, or there's a variety of ways that you can do this. And it just gives you a whole bunch of ideas of these are the value add things that will help you pursue the direction that you want to take.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having, a bit of a career coach in your back pocket in a lot of ways, because this initial brainstorm, this initial brain dump is really helping you do that. So yeah, let me just press stop sharing here. So yeah, that's a little bit about how our AI tools are going to help you, not only with your updating of your resume and your LinkedIn, but also about how it's going to help you with your job search strategy in like a more of an overarching way. And you might be thinking, why on earth are you guys working yourself out of a job, letting us all know about how we can use AI to pretty much replace you? Great question. No, well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's the 80-20 rule. We really want you guys to be equipped with an up-to-date knowledge so that you can be as empowered as possible to progress in your career in the direction that you want to take. And where a career coach comes in is where we provide you with those personalised insights or that extra support that is going to enable you to get there faster, happier, and also just as a whole person, I suppose, rather than just ticking boxes.
Absolutely. The support is so important. Just a little word or a little,
That's it.
Yeah.
One of the things that I mentioned that we are so excited about is those stories of non-traditional success that we're going to be sharing. So make sure you keep an eye out for that we're going to be sending around because, look, honestly, that kind of inspiration from real humans is something that's never going to be replaced by AI. And I think that human connection is more important than ever with the uptake of these kind of tools.
Yeah, absolutely. Educating yourself that other people are doing it will help you feel more comfortable with your own career trajectory.
Well, that's exactly right. So that you feel, well, you know, if other people are able to reject the corporate career ladder and they were able to make these flexible changes and, you know, it didn't mean that they had to start again from the beginning or they didn't, you know, risk their financial stability or they didn't, you know, damage any relationships by taking this different path. Like if we can hear more and more from how others are doing these incredible flexes in their career path, it really inspires us for how we can do the same.
Absolutely. And it opens up a whole new world.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And suddenly you don't feel chained. You know, people talk about the golden handcuffs. And I think that that's really true because when we lock ourselves into a career path that we may no longer be serving us, it does feel like golden handcuffs, like because we do have an element of stability there. We do have an element of financial security. It's working now. Why would I make a change just because it's sucking my soul out of my body?
And I'm missing out on the important things in life, like your family and the changes that are happening outside of that.
Well, that's it. Or even that you're missing out on, you know, the path not taken. Like, oh my goodness, I've always wanted to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that's just going to waste my time because I'm starting at the bottom of a ladder when I'm already halfway up this one. We want to show you that pursuing different priorities and different passions at different stages of your career can actually enrich your experience and make you a more valuable employee overall, rather than limit yourself.
That's right. And your finances as well. Doesn't mean that you have to start right at the bottom of the ladder. You'll be very surprised at how well qualified you are for different roles.
That's exactly right. So I hope we've given you some inspiration and some really practical tips today that are going to help you get ahead when you are looking to apply for another role. If you would like to ask any questions, I'll open up the floor now. We've got a couple of minutes. Please feel free to take yourself off mute or put something in the chat box there if you have any questions. Yeah, otherwise, I really hope that today has given you some practical strategies. Andrea and I really are passionate about helping people with their success in their careers.
Yeah.
And while in some ways AI can feel daunting because you're worried that someone doing AI is going to take your job, I think that what's more likely is going to happen is that someone using AI tools is what's going to take your job. Beautiful. Okay. So I've just got a question up here. Oh my goodness, that font is so small. How did I get so old? Did that get sent to everyone? Let me see if I've got it down here. Hang on a second. It's terrible, isn't it? I should have glasses, but I just don't. Yeah, so how can you use it to help you move into a career that you have no experience in? So IT change manager to marine conservation. That's an excellent question.
It is.
And this is something that we were discussing before as well, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Like when I was saying, like my background is in education prior to this one. But then I looked at it and thought, my goodness, I could do coaching for parents. So that's totally different than being an education teacher and helping teachers teach. But you'll be surprised how this can.
That's it.
Let's
yeah.
see.
So let's run it with that. So I'm just going to pull up Andrea's resume, and we're going to use that as a specific example about if you're changing from deputy principal to a, what would you call it? A parent counsellor?
Yeah.
Okay. I am a deputy principal who would like to transition my career into a parental counsellor role. Spelled that, didn't I?
I should be able to work that out.
Please provide recommendations for my resume for adjusting my resume. So here we go. I'll just copy Andrea's resume again. And I'll pop that in. I might actually add that. Please provide recommendations for adjusting my resume. There it is. So, and it's going to provide some suggestions here. So it's important to highlight your transferable skills such as communication, empathy, problem solving, conflict resolution, and relationship building. Here are suggestions for how your resume could be adjusted. So what it's done is it has gone in and accessed its database to find out what transferable skills are needed. And then it's actually gone and helped to adjust your resume accordingly. So I think that that's really cool. The next thing that we want to look at here, though, is what additional training, volunteer experience, etc., could I benefit from obtaining to make this transition. And then we can get some suggestions about how we can actually get some additional training and PD or volunteer work, or what else we can do in addition to highlighting those transferable skills to actually bridge the gap and make that change.
Interesting. Like they've got networking there. There was one before, volunteering, as you've spoken before.
Yeah, so volunteering in women's service or community centres. What parent support groups can you volunteer in? What mentoring programs can you volunteer in? Joining some networking groups, but reading and self-study. If we wanted to, what's one that we can expand on here? If we wanted to find out a little bit more about the volunteer experience, we can say, please expand on point 2. And it can give us some more detailed information about how we can specifically look at volunteering to transition into that parental counsellor role. And then we can just continue that that little bit of a brainstorm using ChatGPT to help us make this transition.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, so I hope that helps answer your question a little bit there. But that's definitely how I would use ChatGPT to help you start bridging that gap. Number one, have a look at what your transferable skills are that you need to highlight, and it will even jog your memory, I suppose, for how you can share examples that are more relevant in those skills.
Yeah, that's right. So, and it's just amazing how it's got, it can just get all this information and bring it into one spot just for you to read, things that you've never even thought of. It just blows my mind.
Well, that's it. And I suppose the one thing that we would love to leave with you today, just as we're wrapping up here, is keep educating yourself on these tools. So sticking our head in the sand isn't something that is necessary. If we're smart, we can actually use these tools to our advantage. These aren't things that we need to be afraid of using.
Absolutely. Don't worry about your age, because I'm quite old. Just playing around with it, it's just amazing. So that's the first step. You've got it on your computer, you can get it on your computer, just have a little play. You will be surprised. It just blows your mind with all of these ideas, things that you've never thought of.
That's it. And it can actually train you on itself as well. So you can ask it for suggestions on, what else can you do, computer?
Yeah. How should I phrase this question?
That's it. And look, the more you use it, the more comfortable you are. It's like anything, you put rubbish in, you get rubbish out. So it's about using the best quality prompts that you can. So start with those ones that we've put in the webinar booklet when you want to have a bit of experiment yourself. And then you can build on that to see what works for you.
That's right, because these ones are proven.
That's it.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. It's been wonderful to share this with you.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the whole experience. Applying for a deputy principal has been quite an eye-opener.
The parental counsellor role sounds exciting.
No, I think I'll stay where I am, but still.
Something for next year, perhaps.
So thank you all for staying and hanging around, and especially for the person that gave us something else to try in ChatGPT. Very exciting.
Yes. So thank you again. Please reach out to us with any questions, and keep an eye out for those inspirational stories that we're going to be sharing over the coming weeks.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now. Bye.